This is part 2 of New for Travel in 2026. The conversation continues on the topic of using AI and technology for travel and how it will never take the place of a dedicated travel agent.
This is the Zone 1 podcast for a premium travel experience. The Zone 1 podcast brings you incredible travel opportunities and excursions through networktravel.ca. The Zone 1 podcast features the legendary Jackie Ray Greening, Rick McSwain from Network Travel, and I'm your host, Terry Evans.
Even as, things like Expedia and cheapflights.ca or whatever, I don't know what the website is, but even as you had the ability to start doing that, and everybody thought, oh, this is going to be the end of travel agents. But it's honestly not. Like, I have at least 3 incidents that I do remember from a long time ago. The most recent one was a trip to New Orleans that Jody and I wanted to do a number of years back. I can't even remember. It was before Network Travel. So you started in 2020, and it was before that. But we had got insurance, and there was a hurricane that came. So all of a sudden, I found that I had to start phoning the hotels that were booked and everything. And then I was starting to do this. And I said, yeah, just, want to get my refund because, we're not going to be there. Well, why aren't you going to be there? And I said, well, I just saw a video of water on Bourbon Street. And like, you're right around the corner in the French Quarter. Isn't there some sort of concern about this?
Was that Katrina?
It literally took me months to get refunds and all of that stuff. So, having the technology to go in and research and find out about stuff and learn more about where you're going. But again, I think that's a really valuable point to bring up, the fact that your travel agent can protect, adjust, and advocate for you on your behalf. And the fact that Network Travel is basically boots on the ground before you're on the ground is also great.
Well, and I think a lot of people have to realize, like Expedia, for example, they have millions of clients. We do not, right? So there's no way that you can expect an online booking tool typically has no frills, no service, better price, supposedly. When you get to the end of booking, and I'm not bashing Expedia, but it's just the model which is successful for them. But when you get to the end, there is a service fee. They don't work for free. So, so it's people right away think, though, it's a lot cheaper and whatever. Do your research, definitely use the tools, do your research. But I mean, when you get into a crunch, you're on your own, basically, if you do it.
Mm-hmm.
Small groups can end up being such a rewarding experience because you're not lost in a herd. Everybody looks out for one another for the most part, unless there's that one guy. And a lot of times if you look around a group of 8 people and you don't see that one guy or that one person, you might be that one person. But small groups are kind of the new luxury, aren't they? Small groups, like 5 stars isn't luxury. It's small group experiences or excursions. Isn't that right?
Well, and I think the word luxury is, it's way, it's got so many meanings. I think it's been overused, and people's view of luxury anymore, honestly, it's skewed so badly. Because I mean, luxury now, for many of our clients at least, is the experience. Of course, everyone wants nice accommodations, and they want good food, and they want good experience all around. But luxury is not necessarily the floor-to-ceiling window overlooking a water hole in Africa, waiting for a bell to ring because an elephant showed up in the water hole and you got your tea service. That's not necessarily what people look at as luxury. You can still do that, but that's not it. People want, at least our customers, they want the luxury experience, meaning they want the experience. They don't necessarily want the big giant 4-poster bed. Most of ours are 4-poster beds, but they want more of the experience, and they don't care if it's a bit rugged. They want the experience. That's what it is, and that's their luxury. right?
And that's what traveling's all about is the experience, at least to me. So I totally agree. That's what people are looking for now.
And some of these smaller groups that we're doing, like 10, 20 people. I mean, we do larger groups too, and they're a ton of fun. And you got to realize in the South Pacific, I mean, we had 87 people. So that's a bigger group. But if there wasn't 87 of us, there would have been 300 of somebody else anyways, because the ship will hold 320 people. So when you look at it that way, it's more fun if there's more of us on that situation. But in Africa, we'll do 10, 20 people. And I tell you, every night we come back, and maybe I'm blowing Africa up too much, but every night we come back, there's always these stories over a glass of wine or a beer. What did you see today? Oh my God, did you guys see the cat? No, we missed the cat, blah, blah, blah. No, we saw this. There's all of these stories, and that's what makes it really, really cool.
That's what makes it luxurious. I'll give you a perfect example of why
Yeah.
luxury doesn't necessarily mean luxury anymore. Vinyl plank flooring. They call it LVP, luxury vinyl plank flooring. It's just vinyl plank. There's nothing luxurious about it. You want to get some engineered hardwood, that's a little more luxurious than vinyl plank.
I can't believe we're talking vinyl planking on a travel show. This is brilliant.
Well,
Thank you, boys.
it just gives
Oh.
you an example of what luxury is and isn't.
I'm trying to think. Mindless, luxury seats on an aircraft. I think you guys all, and this is so funny because I had this customer that said, so the flight to the South Pacific, the seat backs like this thick, like because you get on these flights to Toronto, Vancouver, whatever, and it's like sitting in a metal chair with vinyl plank backs.
Twice vinyl plank.
It's just like sitting on a piece of hardwood. It's terrible. So, but longer flights, obviously, good point. Longer flights are more comfortable because people just get really cranky. And
What are the options with you talked about, your South Pacific group had 87 people, and you talk about East Africa groups of 12, 15, 18, 20 people. What about private experiences? How often do you deal with those, and what sort of examples do you have?
well, we deal with that all the time as well, because it's funny because some people say, well, we're not a part of a group. We're not going to do a group. There's just 4 of us or 2 of us. And we do that. Of course, we do that. So there's 4, 6 people that will come to us and say, we want to rent a catamaran, for example, in the Caribbean, or we want to rent a private villa in France, or, things like this. This is their luxury is to do that and then hire an executive chef that's going to take care of everything for them. So they have a private pool. They have maybe a 3 or 4 bedroom, beautiful house that they're going to rent. So that's their luxury. So we still do sell individual, and again, some people look at luxury, for example, 2 people, 4 people. They just want a quick flight. So they'll go to an absolutely beautiful resort, and they still exist in, for example, in Mexico or the Caribbean, where you just have your own private pool and your private room. There's all kinds of beautiful, luxurious, quick getaways that people do appreciate still, like in Mexico and places like that. You just want to get away for the sun for 7 nights. It's beautiful.
A private villa in France, JR. There's
Yes.
more wine there.
Oh, yes. Oh. No more.
No more wine for JR.
Now boarding all travelers in Zone 1.
The Zone 1 podcast is brought to you by networktravel.ca. Go to the website today to find out more about the trip on the private yacht in Croatia, the San Diego baseball getaway in 2026, the East Africa safari coming up in March of 2026, and the Japan in Bloom cruise in 2027. All this and more at networktravel.ca.
When you talk about private experiences, and I suppose maybe a definition of that is, I mean, what you gave us there is a perfect example, but maybe you could give us a definition of buyouts or charters. I mean, we all know hosted groups. You two have hosted many groups. I've hosted groups before. What are buyouts and charters, and what's the difference, Rick?
Okay, so a buyout, for example, is You have something that is, you just buy out the entire villa or lodge or resort, because some of these lodges or resorts, or some of them are very boutique, where they might only hold maybe 20 people because all they have is ten suites. So as an example, we, like, this sounds crazy, but I never honestly thought I would ever be talking about this, but we bought out the entire island in Indonesia, Jackie Ray.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Overwater
amazing. Yeah.
bungalows. So we found this beautiful, beautiful little island south of Singapore, and we looked at it. They had 15 overwater villas on the island. It's a private island, and they had some of these ridge villas, they call them. So you had to climb up the top of this small mountain to get up there. It was
That's where Rick and I were. Right up the hill.
but having said that, we didn't stay in the overwater bungalow, but we were in these ridge villas, which were, I don't know what, 1,500 square feet probably. We had outdoor seating. We had a private plunge pool that overlooked down over the valley into the ocean. They were absolutely incredible. They were serving breakfast in the morning up there privately just for us. It was just one of those really unique things where we bought out the whole island. So it was a full buyout, and you could kayak around this little island. What was really cool about that is we come to realize that one of the owners of the island is from Alberta. So
From Vegreville.
yeah,
Oh,
and
wow.
so just one of these really kind of cool. And we've
No,
sent
Vermilion.
Vermilion,
Sorry, Vermilion. Yeah.
Vermilion. And so since then we've sent more customers there, and they're just loving it. So it's just that experience. We did when we were there, we did a raft building competition. So that was so much fun. So we had some people that were, I think our oldest was 82 or something, and you get these people that are chirping each other like high school. And we're building these rafts. So they set it all up and they organize everything, but it was just absolutely incredible. So that's one example of a buyout. The other is, for example, we're doing a yacht experience this coming July in Croatia. And what we're doing there is it's a full buyout on a yacht. So the yacht is 18 cabins, but it's just us. And we're going to be going from the north all the way down to Dubrovnik in the south, but it's going to be a really cool experience. So it's just us on this private yacht. So there's all kinds of variations of what you can do. Small plane charters too, you can do that. We did a full plane charter, which was 140 people to see the Blue Jays in Seattle. That was cool.
That was a lot of fun.
That was a ton of fun. Yeah.
The thing you're talking, the experience in Singapore that you had, it sounds like it's almost it's on the borderline of a wellness retreat sort of thing, and I suppose that could fall into
Mm.
that categories. Do you do much as far as, because I know wellness isn't just going to a spa anymore that's at the all-inclusive resort. There's all kinds of retreats that you can go on. There's more personal and up close experiences that you can probably arrange, and for reconnecting, learning, and cooking, and all that stuff too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And people think wellness is yoga. It's not just yoga, it's mental health as well. So to get someplace that's laid back, even though we had the island, I mean, there was people would wander off and just do their own thing and just kind of reconnect with each other or alone if they chose.
Actually, the
Story.
Colette from Stanici's Munder Sausage House, we decided she had never kayaked before on this private island in Indonesia. So I said, no problem, I can teach you. So we're going around the island, and then we said, let's go through those trees. There's some shade there. Well, didn't know, what do you call the things? Are they
Mangrove.
mongoose?
Mangrove.
Mangrove? Yeah, the mangrove. We
Mangrove.
got stuck on the mangrove. And then all we're thinking is, okay, our two husbands will miss us in about 40 hours, 3 weeks. You might be right on that one. So Colette, she actually jumped out of the kayak amongst them, and she did it beautifully, got us unlodged and got back in the boat without us falling out and getting impaled. So that was good news. But we were able to go around the whole island. It was amazing, beautiful.
Well, there you go. You can add that to your list of the things that on the itinerary. Kayak lessons from JR.
Exactly.
Something that I know my wife would be extremely interested in is, and maybe one of the destination countries would be France, and that's a culinary
Uh-huh.
journey, a experience with cooking where, you know, you're not necessarily going off every morning to see animals in the wild or anything like that, but you get up every morning to amazing breakfast, and then there's spend part of the day cooking, and then there's all kinds of stuff happening. How much request or demand is there for that, Rick?
Absolutely. Well, and that's part of it as well, Terry. Like, I mean, it's people looking for, a lot of people don't want to go and just cook for 7, 14 days kind of thing. They want a variety of different things. So cooking would be one of those things. Wine tasting, wine pairing, that type of thing that ties well with cooking as well. And then a few tours, some golf. There's all of these other pieces that you build into it. And then people then realize that, okay, there's one piece of this that I absolutely love doing, and that's cooking, but I love golf too. So you know what? I'm going to do it. It's just not one thing, right? And some of the other things might be the wellness part of it. So once you start putting them all together, then people realize that, you know what? This is perfect because it's a variety. And the fun part about going with some of these groups that we're doing is, like Jackie Ray said too, it's more of a community, but people, when you go with your spouse sometimes, my wife shops too much, so I hate shopping. And but so when you go, like let's say the three of us went and we brought our spouses, right? There would be Jackie Ray taking the wine drinkers. Me too, actually. And
You take the beer drinkers.
and then there's other people that want to do other things. And but the really cool thing is people suddenly realize that they're not tied to their spouse because they don't want to leave their spouse
Mhm.
alone. They're able to go and do the things that they're interested in. And your spouse is extremely happy because she can go and shop or whatever she wants to do. And this naturally, organically happens when we do these kind of groups. People just eventually find other people with the same interests and then off they go, right?
Yeah, because I think that happened a few times where a couple of the gals, we wanted to go snorkeling, and the husbands, I think they were thrilled as they saw us get on the boat and leave.
And don't bring her.
Don't bring her back.
Today's show is brought to you by The Terry Evans Show with Pt.2 on Edmonton's classic rock, K97. You can listen in the Edmonton area at 97.3 on your FM dial and online anywhere in Canada at k97.ca.
Like I said earlier, all three of us have hosted trips. Rick, you and I have hosted together. JR, you and Rick have hosted together. And it ends up being a tremendous experience for many of the people who, and you know what? When you have a hosted trip, it's great. The 2 of you are there, or Rick, you and I are there, and some people, they glom onto that, and they are a part of it from start to finish. But others, sometimes
Mhm.
they could give a rat's patoot that there
Exactly.
is a host there, and they just wanna be off doing their own thing anyway, and
Yeah,
it's perfectly acceptable for either thing, you know?
absolutely. You do you. That's our motto for sure.
Yeah, and you avoid all those regimented kind of strict itineraries and that type of thing. I mean, there's things
Mhm.
that we do, but if you want, like, no matter where we go, if you don't want to participate, just don't. Like, this is your vacation. You spent so much
Mhm.
money doing this with us. Just go and do what you want to do and engage when you want to, basically.
Well, and I think another thing for 2026, aren't people booking earlier and earlier now to try and get their experiences taken care of and all rigged up so that they have something to look forward to? They're not putting it off like we've seen in the past, right?
Well, and you nailed it. I mean, we're seeing that. I mean, I'm happy that the stats are showing that because we've been seeing this for the last few years. That when we launch something, people they get on it right away. They don't wait. And that's one thing they want something to look forward to. And typically what happens now is if you want to do one of these experiences that we're selling, if you wait till the last minute, it's too late. It's sold out. And I use the same analogy as going to Costco. If you see this really cool piece of furniture or something at Costco, whatever it is, I don't know, snow brush, whatever it is, you buy it now because it might not be there next week, right?
or vinyl plank
Or
flooring.
I was just going to say, maybe there's
The new flooring. Oh, God.
a, a snow brush? Are you?
Oh, no. I
What?
was going from, I was
Wow.
going from,
Aim a little higher, buddy.
well, that's the thing. How many times have we gone to how many times have we gone to Costco and we've seen something and thought, "Oh, you know what? I'll get it the next time I come here," and it's gone. Whether it is,
Mhm.
and I need a new snow brush. By the way,
there, Jack.
I've worn mine out. While you two were off gallivanting in the South Pacific and New Zealand, I was wearing out a snow brush.
Okay, so I got to tell you guys something. So I got this email just last week, actually, and so we're working on it. I haven't told you guys yet. I'm telling you now, but I'm looking at possibly the three of us co-hosting something, maybe in the south of Spain next year for like golf, and we'll do a little golf tournament or something. You guys up for that?
Well, yeah. Heck,
Yeah.
yes.
Hang
We
on,
could
let me think
see.
about it. Okay.
See.
So no, I got this. I got an email from one of our suppliers, and they said, like, would you be interested in doing something like this? It was, I don't know, it was $1,500 or something per person, including unlimited golf in the south of Spain for 7 nights. So obviously,
You're kidding.
we're not going to go for 7 nights. We go for 14, or people can stay as long as they want. But the point is, 7 nights, 14, $1,500. Airfare is not included, of course, but unlimited golf and breakfast is included, and you're staying in a 4-star condo. Like that's
Okay, that's pretty huge. That's awesome.
And
Long as it's not during hunting season.
oh God. We'll find something to kill for what's
well,
Okay.
I am looking forward to further discussion on this. That sounds spectacular.
It does.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, and that's part of the thing is you're not just choosing, destinations. You're choosing experiences, and you can, if you want to do a traditional destination where you're laying on a beach or doing a golf sort of thing, then all the power to you. But if you want to go and see wild animals in East Africa, cruise in and around all of the islands in Croatia, there's that as well. I guess it comes down to the experience, but it's from start to finish. It's being able to be booking and finding out more, being educated about travel by people who you trust, which is where network travel comes in.
Yeah, and it's something to add to that too, because we're doing East Africa. I'll leave in a couple of weeks here, but we manage the visas. So you need tourist visas to get in, visitor visas or whatever. So we include that as part of our service. You just pay for the cost of the visa, but we'll process the visa, because I swear it is an absolute, sometimes a nightmare. You have to submit your picture, and it has to pass their criteria. I mean, there's all of these different things that you have to do. It's not just simply filling out a form. So it's one of those extra things that, you know what, if you're going to do this on your own, it's an absolute pain to fight with. Especially we get elderly people that just say, oh my God, it's really cumbersome. And then if your tourist visa doesn't work, people get frustrated. I mean, they can't get into the country if it's not done properly. So there's all of these things, right?
2026 travel is booking earlier than ever. If you wait, you're going to miss out. And I suppose a good way to shut things down is just to remind everybody, if you've got less than 6 months before your passport expires, or if you're out of pages, you need to renew your passports.
Which, by the way, did you get yours, little Ricky?
No, they're going to have it ready on the 13th. But funny story, I had to go down to Edmonton to the Canada place, and I swear to God, it's the best place to sell travel. Everyone is going someplace. So I'm standing in line at 7:50 in the morning, handing out business cards, because people are saying, hey, I mean, you're just standing in line anyways, right? So people are there. And of course, I come off the out of the parkade, and I scan that stupid thing, because you can't plug a meter anymore, or put a card in a box. Like, you have to scan the damn thing and then go online. So I scan it, and then I go up to jump in line right away, and I'm up there at my phone farting around. And so I said, shit, does anybody remember the code from the parkade downstairs? And the guy goes, no, he goes, it's not working for me. And so then the conversation starts. I go, well, can somebody hold my line? Because I'm going downstairs to find the code. I'll bring it back and I'll let you guys know what it is. So I go down, come back, and next thing you know, we're all talking and stuff. And they go, where are you going? I said, well, I'm going to Africa. And they said, oh my God, what are you doing? Blah, 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 blah. And I told them what I do. Have you got a card? And so
Oh dear. So you had your trench coat on and you opened it up and you
I'm
pulled.
handing out network travel pens and business cards from Grand Prairie all the way to Red Deer.
That's terrific. Next time, did you have a little outfit on too, a sombrero and a poncho and whatnot?
No, but I'm thinking that might be a good. I'm going to hire somebody to just stand on that line over there, maybe every day. Just head out this.
Did it occur to anybody that was standing in line with you, go, how good of a travel agent is this dude? His passport's about to run out and he leaves in 10 days.
Hey, Terry, you can edit that part out. So Terry and I are going to enjoy Spain. I can see that.
This has been the Zone 1 podcast. For a premium travel experience, Rick McSwain from networktravel.ca, Jackie Ray Greening. I'm Terry Evans. The Zone 1 podcast is part of the Reluctantly Podcast Network.